Good evening, I'm Ryan Bonazzo.
And I'm Catalina Gillies. The Thunder Bay's medical officer of health wants to see all age groups eligible for vaccination against COVID-19. This comes after Pfizer requested U.S. approval to immunize children aged 5 to 11.
Dr. Janet DeMille also says she's pleasantly surprised to see that there's now just one active case across the district. She spoke with Corey Nordstrom earlier today.
The Thunder Bay District remains a glowing example to much of the province and even country on how to keep COVID-19 cases low. With just one active case, Medical Officer of Health Dr. Janet DeMille says the district's avoidance of a fourth wave has surprised even her.
I don't think a month ago I would have anticipated that we would be where we are at, but very pleased that we are, and I think it's really a combination of things. Number one, we have a very good immunization rate and we still see people coming forward.
The possibility for younger children to be approved for vaccination could be the next big step in boosting immunization rates. In the United States, Pfizer is seeking approval of its vaccine for kids aged 5 to 11.
It's really important that that we move eventually to getting all age groups vaccinated, and certainly the 5 to 11-year-old is a big one, especially because they go to school and daycare and